Okay, so when you think of the world's most dangerous animal, what pops into your head? A great white shark, maybe? A lion? Well, what if I told you the most lethal creature on the planet, gram for gram, isn't big or fast or aggressive at all? Nope, it's tiny, it's brightly colored, and it's about the size of a paperclip. So let's dive into the story of this incredible little animal. So here it is. This is the golden poison frog. Its scientific name is Phyllobates terribilis, and that terribilis part is there for a very good reason. You'll only find it in a tiny little patch of rainforest in Colombia, but this small amphibian carries one of the most powerful natural toxins known to science. But to really get a grip on its power, we first need to clear up a really key distinction. All right, first things first, let's talk about how toxins work in nature, because there's a super common mix-up, and understanding the difference is crucial. So it all comes down to delivery. Venomous animals, like snakes or spiders, they have to inject their toxins. It's an active delivery system, a bite or a sting. Poisonous animals, on the other hand, are totally passive. The toxin has to be absorbed or ingested. You have to touch it or, eat it to get hurt. There's a great little saying for this. If you bite it and you die, it's poisonous. If it bites you and you die, it's venomous. And when we say our little frog here is poisonous, we really mean it. It actually secretes the toxin right through its skin. For most animals, and yeah, that includes us, just making contact with its skin can be lethal. It's an absolutely incredible and terrifying defense mechanism. So what is it that makes this frog so unbelievably deadly? Let's take a closer look at the toxin itself. It's called batrachotoxin. The name actually comes from batrachos, the Greek word for frog. And this stuff is no joke. It's a neurotoxin, which means it goes straight for the nervous system, and it is brutally, brutally efficient. So let's get into how this works on a microscopic level. Imagine your nerves are sending signals by constantly flipping a switch on and off. Well, batrachotoxin comes in and just breaks the switch. It forces that on switch to get permanently stuck open. This causes this catastrophic overload, and the nerves just fire uncontrollably until they completely shut down, leading to paralysis, muscle failure, and eventually heart failure. And how much does it take to do all that? Just 2 micrograms. To put that in perspective, that's about the size of 2 grains of salt. That tiny, tiny amount is enough to kill a full-grown human. The average golden poison frog? It carries around 1 milligram of this stuff, enough to take out 10 to 20 people. Just wow. So the big question is, how does such a tiny little creature produce such a ridiculously deadly chemical weapon? Well, this is where the story takes a really fascinating turn. Here is the absolute kicker. It doesn't. The golden poison frog can't actually make batrachotoxin on its own. So, if it's not making the poison, where in the world is it getting it from? It gets it from its food. You know the saying, you are what you eat? Well, for this frog, that is literally true. It eats tiny insects in the rainforest, especially these little beetles from the Miliaridae family, which are thought to be the source of the toxin. The frog's body is just uniquely built to absorb this poison, concentrate it, and then push it out through its skin, all without harming itself. And this is the proof. Golden poison frogs that are raised in captivity, fed a diet of things like fruit flies, are completely and totally harmless. Now, a poison this powerful definitely hasn't gone unnoticed by the humans who share the frog's home. In fact, it's played a pretty big role in their history for centuries. Let's travel to the Choco rainforest in western Colombia. For centuries, indigenous groups here, like the Embre Choco people, have had this absolutely remarkable relationship with this tiny, deadly creature. They've learned to use the frog's toxin to create poison darts for their blowguns. The traditional way to do it is to carefully stress the frog, sometimes just by holding it near a fire, which makes it secrete these little poison droplets onto its skin. Hunters then carefully roll the tips of their darts in this fluid. And the poison is so incredibly stable that it can stay lethal on a dart tip for more than 2 years. And get this, the amount they can get is just astonishing. A single frog, barely a couple of inches long, can provide enough poison to coat up to 50 hunting darts. That makes it an unbelievably potent and efficient tool for hunting in such a dense forest. Okay, so this brings up a pretty obvious question, right? If this frog is so deadly and people are actually seeking it out for its poison, why is it so brightly colored? Wouldn't it be way safer to just hide? That brilliant, almost fluorescent yellow color isn't for camouflage. It's an advertisement. The frog is basically screaming to any potential predator.
Its color is a universal sign in nature that says, I am not a good meal. Trust me, eating me will be the absolute last thing you ever do.
And there's a fancy scientific term for this strategy, aposematism. It's this brilliant evolutionary trick where an animal's warning signals, like its bright colors, are directly linked to how terrible it is to eat. In a world full of predators, sometimes the best defense really is a good offense, and this frog's color is its first and most effective line of defense.
It's a total flip of what we normally expect from a small, you'd think, vulnerable animal. Instead of hiding, it makes itself impossible to miss, using its own beauty as this powerful, silent shield. So when you really get down to it, the most poisonous creature on Earth isn't some fearsome hunter. It doesn't need to be. It's just a small, beautiful frog that has absolutely perfected the art of self-defense, borrowing its weapon from the world around it and turning its very appearance into a warning sign.
The story of the golden poison frog is just such a perfect reminder that the natural world is just packed with these incredible, complex relationships and jaw-dropping secrets. It really makes you wonder, in all the vast, unexplored corners of our planet, what other astonishing wonders are just waiting out there for us to find?